Okay, I'll join the CAs then. Or do you want me to stay with the Bs?
Hey everyone, we're here live with the Category A race. We're going to be streaming all the categories for the Zwift Classics Yorkshire Grand Prix, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan Nickerson.
Hello.
Number one ranked rider in this race is going to be
Or do you want me to stay with the Bs?
Hey everyone, we're James Young, and he's got a rank of 63, so very strong rider. 20-minute power of 5.4 watts per kilo. This is going to be a pretty tough course because there are tons of punchy climbs, and right off the bat, you can already see three riders actually off the back, and they're not going to be catching back on because of all the fast descents and the group speeds on this course.
Yeah, for today's course, it's mostly going to be about positioning, because if you can reduce the power, that doesn't matter, because there's so many downhills and uphills that if you get a little bit of a gap and everyone goes, then you might get dropped instantly.
After the Category A riders go up this short little hill, we're going to hop into the B race, which just started around 10 seconds ago. It's going to be a huge field for the B riders. Right now I'm checking, and it looks like 157 riders signed up, which is probably the biggest B race in the Zwift Classic series that I've seen so far. And typically at this time zone, riders normally set the fastest time on this course. It's this time zone that they do it, and I did this for 2 weeks, and we set the record time for both weeks. Okay, hopping into the B race now.
Someone going off the front right now, sprinting up.
Wait, just gotta pull it up real quick.
Trying to stretch his peloton just a little bit more. He doesn't have a gap anymore, as the group is way bigger and will be able to close him down easily. Still giving it a little bit of a sprint. Now he has gotten a 1 second gap on the peloton, and one other rider has joined him before this little hill for the sprint.
Okay, I finally found someone to fan view, and it looks like we've got a huge group here. From the overhead view, you can just see quite how large this group is. We've got a group of around probably 70 or 80 riders all in this little bunch. That is out of the 137 riders that showed up to this race, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty exciting race. One rider that I recognize here, C. Saunders, he is extremely strong rider. Last time I did this race, he went for a solo breakaway. He wasn't quite able to pull it off, but he was extremely close. He definitely put some pressure onto the field.
Oh god, ton of riders in the peloton, so you can't really make a break, as they would probably just catch you on a downhill or something. So it's best to try and sit in and just wait for someone to make that move if it's a good enough attack.
Yeah, one thing that I was definitely going to try on this course when I do race this course, I was going to trying to get a ghost power up and then use that on the short climb that leads to the finish, as this route is not the complete route. It is just, I think it's just to the top of the KOM, which is a great place to attack at the bottom of the KOM. If you use a ghost power up, you can get a bit of a gap and catch everyone off guard, and they'll be left chasing you. It's a pretty tactical course, and if you do find yourself falling off the back on a descent, that is going to result in you getting dropped most likely, because the speed on the downhills is extremely high, and if you aren't able to catch the draft, you're going to be gone within seconds.
So far, there seems to be 100 riders in the front peloton.
And you see tons of confetti as riders get achievements, new PRs for probably around half the field.
That's crazy. 100 rider peloton. That's gonna be insane.
Not much going on right now, and it's going to be decently mellow for the next mile or two. But after that, they are going to go up a pretty steady drag, and you can see a lot of riders using their anvil power ups right now. This is a decent place to use it, but it's not quite a large enough descent to actually get the most out of the anvil. There are some other descents where that will probably be more useful, and you'll probably see lots of riders getting the 100 km/h badges. This is a really steep downhill that we're going to see later on during this stream. Okay, we're going to head into the C race, give them some coverage now, and let's see. C riders are just getting to around 1 or 2 miles, and they are going to be probably around 3 minutes slower than the B riders. But that's going to be 4 minutes because they start 1 minute later.
Peloton's trying to get stretched out after that little climb for the sprint, and this is where normally some people push the power just to make sure, but then that leads to everyone going hard, and then the Peloton stretches out.
Not as big of a group in C, but still solid 64 riders in the group, and the lead group consists of, let's see, I believe that's going to be around 35 riders. These riders are just hitting the part that we just saw the B riders go down, and as we saw in the category B race, that a lot of the riders were using their anvils here. It's a pretty good stretch to use it, but these riders here were using their anvil power-ups, and it didn't end very well here. Early this morning, I actually did part of the race, just to kind of like get a feel for the course for when I actually do race it later on in the week. And right here is where I got dropped, and just like this rider, Jay Cloak, that we're watching right now, he's probably not going to catch on unless the C riders slow down dramatically because of the group speeds that are in Zwift. You can see they're going around the bend. R. Elms also off the back. Lowe is struggling off the back, but he's probably going to catch back on. Believe he's one of the #1 ranked riders in this race.
Riders in the front starting to sprint a little, trying to get that gap before the climb if some of the riders, heavier riders, don't have confidence in this climb, so that they get a little bit of a gap so it's easier for them heading towards the steep downhill where they could easily break away.
So looking at the Zwift power stats, the #1 rider in C is going to be Michael Norlander from Team NLC Elite, a team that I've seen quite a bit when I used to race C, and I'm going to see if I can find him here.
I raced against Norlander on Monday. He
that's
won
cool.
The high-end C race.
I'm not seeing him in this race, so it could just be that he signed up but didn't show up.
Yeah.
Some riders
Norlander is a very strong rider.
Yeah, some riders using their power-ups here because they just got another power-up under the arch. And they're going to go up a gradual climb, but we're going to catch the A's as they are going up this climb right now, so we will be back with this in probably around 5 minutes, and we'll check back in with the B, C, and D riders in a bit. Okay, in category A, you can see that they're going up the slow drag right now. It's for some parts it's 0% gradient, but most parts it's like 2 to 3. So it's a very gradual climb. This is kind of an interesting place because this is where you can see some riders going on the front, try to really stretch out the group, and you can see that the category A riders, they're not really chasing the one rider off the front, but you can see that the result of this drag is all these riders that you can see here: Foldnez, CK Satra, S. Amrani, Peters from Sisu, they all probably got dropped on this slow drag because of riders pushing their pace.
Ooh, not a great choice to use the anvil there, as now they're gonna have to sprint because they still have the anvil effect, meaning that they weigh a lot more, and so they're gonna have to either sprint or they'll get dropped on this little
Yeah,
hill.
quite a
But
few
luckily
riders
none of them
from
did.
MTNT, I think MTNT from
MTN.
Team Mutant. Um, M Gamps trying to take advantage of the situation here. He's doing 6 watts per kilo on the front, trying to spread this group out, and they're going to hit another descent. So I don't think he's trying to go solo, but he's just trying to see if he can maybe get maybe 5 riders to go with him and just string the group out to try to drop some of the riders who made the mistake of using the anvil early on.
Seems that everyone has reformed almost, as I don't think anyone would be able to attack on the flat due to the amount of power that these riders can do.
One rider that I've seen a lot in Category A races, M Gamps. Looking at his Zwift power profile, he's got a very strong 20-minute power, but he has not the best sprint of 11.7 watts per kilo. It's nothing compared to most of the riders, which probably explains why he is on the front so much, trying to tire these riders out and trying to maybe go for a solo attack to try to grab the win based off an attack. But he's kind of just surging, but then easing up again once he realizes that no one's going to go with him. Broberg making the jump over. Broberg making the jump over to him. We could see some teamwork here, but I think they're going to just let the group catch back up.
Yeah, it seems that way. On this downhill after this little increase, you got to be careful because if you're too far back from the group, you can get dropped very easily, as it's like a 13% downhill, I think.
Yeah, 13? I believe so. It's that wall that you basically hit when you're going the opposite direction, where your trainer pretty much maxes out on resistance.
Pretty sure it gets up to like 21% is the steepest part.
Gamst here, this is honestly a terrible decision. Going on the front, he's going to get swept back up on this downhill, and I think he's realizing that right now. And if this group doesn't catch him before he starts the downhill, it's going to be a complete disaster for Gamst. He could fly off the back and completely lose this race.
Yeah, he notices that and just 2 watts per kilo trying to get the peloton to catch back up. He might have to do a little bit of an effort like he is right now, or else he might get dropped.
Looks like he is surging, trying to get a good position in the group before they hit descent. Let's see how fast these riders go down the descent. An anvil deployed right now from a rider ZTPL.
Smart decision. They were at 14%. And then right here, I think we had 21.
Yes, this is a crazy descent. And you can see here, as I expected, 60 miles per hour max speed, insanely fast. And you're going to see that there's a little bit of separation. And this rider who was off the front using the anvil, the rider from ZTPL, he's now off the back. He's going to catch back on, though, before they hit the climbs again.
Oh, that's crazy. They almost hit 100 kilometers per hour just on a descent.
Yep. We're going to be rejoining the B race now. Then after that, we'll hop to the Ds, give them some coverage.
That's a big gap.
Okay, comparing the size of the B race compared to what the size of the group earlier, it looks as though I don't think anyone's been dropped.
There's like a 50%.
Still scrolling to the back. Okay, looks like 70 riders now rather than the 100 riders that were in the group earlier. So some riders definitely got dropped. And oh boy, if you're not careful on this ascent, you could lose the race right here. This is an insanely large group. 60 miles per hour, 61, 62. They just hit 100 kilometers per hour. I'm sure that got some riders the badge. And they're getting very strung out right now. I'm very worried for when I race this.
Especially on the downhill for the kids who are lighter. They're going to have to put out more power than they want to. So that part's probably not going to be a rest phase, but more of a zone 3.
Definitely. Okay. It looks like everyone who was dangling off the back did catch back up. S. Atkinson, a very light rider. He's got an insanely high watts per kilo because he's so light. He was off the back a bit. Oh wait, I'm seeing a rider off the front right now. Let's see who that is.
Ooh, attack.
It's gonna take quite a bit to scroll up. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh my god.
Okay, it looks like VJ from OTR is chasing P. Hubbard from Wahoo Lake Coal. He's sporting the pink Sean bike with the Wahoo Lake Coal kit. He's got 6 seconds on the peloton right now. And VJ is chasing, but I don't know if he's going to catch back up because Hubbard is putting out a good 5 to 6 watts per kilo. VJ is dangling at 5 watts per kilo. 2-second gap between the two of them.
This could be a bad decision though, because if that peloton catches him, as he has a big gap, so if he's not careful, he might get swept up depending on how hard the peloton and if they want to catch him.
Definitely, and you can see the peloton coming from the back right now. VJ is going to catch back on. Hubbard probably realized that he needs a breakaway partner in order to make this attack successful, and they're going down a slight descent right now, so this might be the end of the attack.
Still a 9-second gap though from the peloton. 7 seconds now. If he's not careful, this peloton will fly past him. And this might have been a bad decision because he might have to put extra power on top of the KOM that's coming up.
Okay, they're now hitting the main descent. This is another place for riders. You're going to see riders use their anvils. And Hubbard coming over to the front here. He's super tucking. Heart rate is 183 right now. He's definitely suffering, and I'm not sure he's going to have the energy to win this race.
We'll still have an 8-second lead on the peloton, though. I'm pretty sure they're going to be safe. But since the peloton has so much more draft and so many more riders, their momentum from this downhill might be enough to catch them on the uphill.
Yeah, they're going to hit this. They're going to hit this climb at an extremely fast speed, probably around 40 miles per hour. Not sure what that is, kilometers per hour, probably around, I think, 60 or something like that. But you can see VJ on the front right now.
Yeah, they've been caught because the power from the riders, the surge, and he might get swept up here and get dropped.
Well, kudos to those two riders. They definitely made our commentating a lot more interesting. Looks like they caught back on. No trouble with that. Two extremely strong riders. It's a huge mob of riders. It's going to be very interesting to see how this finish plays out because it's going to be complete chaos.
A few riders dangling from the back. Not sure if they're going to be able to catch back on, as most of the riders right now are approaching 6 watts per kilo.
I'm going to actually be headed to the D race now because I want to give them some coverage time before we hop back into the A riders because they're going to be hitting the finish pretty soon. In the D race here, looks like we've got peloton of around 7 riders. It's actually a more organized race than we saw in the previous weeks that we've been commentating. And 7 riders, one rider, Kirkham, using the Zwift beta kit. Looks like he's been here for a long time. Sporting the Trek Edmunda. Not quite the fastest, but still a decent choice for this course.
Yeah, what bike would you use for this? Because the fastest aero bike, the S-Works with the GT Swiss disc wheels, that's the most aero. But since there's a little bit of climbing, what bike do you think would be the best?
That's a great question. I think I would personally be using the Pinarello Dogma F with the NV 7.8 wheels. That's personally my go-to setup for rolling courses because I just like the way the Pinarello looks, and it feels weird to use a disc wheel going up all these climbs. What about you?
I would use, yeah, because like on the rankings, the Pinarello is 8th for climbing, and it's no 5th for climbing. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but it's pretty high. It's pretty high ranked. And then for wheels, I would either pick the 858s because I might need some more help on the downhills, or the Envy 7.8s, or is it 8.9s? I can't remember.
Probably 7.8s.
Yeah.
Okay, not much happening in the D race, and the A riders are currently at 9.3 miles, so they're getting very close to the finish. And these B riders actually aren't very far behind. Let me see the gap between those two. Yeah, it's like half a mile. Pierini on the front right now. Not much of a gap here. But we're going to head to the C race now. Because I think they're heading up a KOM. Okay, in the C race, Viking, 2 riders on the front, putting the pressure on the group. D. Valer is currently on the front. I'm really not sure why Saitermo, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this. I'm not quite sure why he's on the front. All he's doing is like destroying his teammates' legs because he's pushing the pace of the main peloton, and Valer is currently on the front. I'm not sure why he would do this. It's pretty much just ruining the breakaway for his teammate, but
Truck Madonna action here. Yeah, if you were smarter, what some people would do, and what happens at like B races, and sometimes like high organized C races, is you would get one of your teammates to go, and then you'd sit on the front and push, but push enough, like not push, like you'd push enough so that you'd stay on the front, but not the same amount, or try and search to catch up so that so that everyone else gets sticky draft sometimes, and then giving your teammate a little bit more of an advantage.
yeah, okay, wait, that's my bad. They're not actually teammates.
Just from the same place.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, Watt Fabric on the front right now. They're about to get to the top of the KOM, and right when they get to the top, we're going to head back into the A race because I think they're getting very close to the finish right now. They're at 10.4 miles. Race ends at around 11.6. So they're heading down the final descent before hitting the climb. Looks like they're getting pretty close. One rider sporting the 858 disc wheel from Zip. That's personally my favorite wheel set, but not the best for this course, and it's no longer the fastest disc wheel set.
Honestly, the Tron is a pretty good bike for this as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great all-arounder, and it's pretty solid at climbing. Okay, we're going to
sprint here.
SB. Oh, no, he's easing back off. This is kind of suspicious. This is what a lot of Zwifters call microbursting, where you kind of just sprint and then you just use your momentum and just glide for a bit and then sprint again.
Another term is sticky watts, where some trainers you'd sprint and then your watts would stay there for a couple seconds and then you could rest, but that's banned now.
Yeah. That was probably, I don't like what he's doing here, but if that's the way he pedals naturally, I'm fine with that. But okay, we gotta hop into the A race now. I'm just seeing extremely high numbers right now. And B. Ruth from NZ Bro on the front, 7.7 watts per kilo. Marwood is just behind. James Young, he's using his draft boost. This is the only power up he's going to have. So after he passes this rider, he's going to need to go right by him if he's looking for this win. Looks like Young just went right on the front, and he's got a 5-second gap on the main peloton of riders. Ruth is not able to hold on to his wheels. He's got a 1-second gap now, 3 seconds on Marwood, 4 seconds on Simon R, and another extremely strong rider, Burke Kyan from Hexagon, a team that we've seen rise from the community division, and they're now in the Premier Division, I believe.
Still holding orange numbers. If he manages to do this, he may be able to break away, because there is a little bit of a descent coming back down the hill from where they came up, and then there's a big hill. Well, not a big hill, but more of a long and steady hill. And then you got another downhill, and then you have the steepest hill of the race, which gets up to 21%.
Oh wait, it looks like I think the race ends right here.
It does.
Yeah. Looks like James Young took first, Ruth from NZBro second, Simon R third, Sivori fourth, and ZTPL is going to come in fifth. Burkayan is going to get sixth, just passing Marwood on the line. Xavier B eighth, C Lewis ninth, Gamps is going to come in 10th. Okay, back to the B race now, because I think they're about to finish, and I want to be able to catch their finish.
Just completely forgot that it ends there.
Okay, this is complete chaos. Shoot, what did I just do? Okay, so here we're going to see Atkinson is on the front right now. 7 watts per kilo. He's got a 6-second gap. He's all in on this attack. He's going to try to make this stick. We're going to see some other riders. B. Harris holding orange numbers, trying to get across, but I believe Atkinson is going to be able to take this win.
This is a really good spot for those lighter riders, because you can just surge up really hard and then hold that high wattage and not being able to caught. But the back peloton, orange numbers coming from the back, but it looks like Atkinson will take this one. And that got close.
Paul is going to just take the second on the line. Snowy is going to come in 5th or 6th. Shout out to B. Harris. He's actually a C rider racing in B. I've seen him in quite a few B races, and for a while he was ahead of me on the Zwift Power Rankings. I'm kind of curious where he's at right now. Okay, let's see. I'm just pulling that up real quick. Sorry for the inconvenience. C riders aren't going to be finishing quite yet because they've got quite a bit to go. So Ben Harris from TFC, he's actually got a rank of 166 right now. He's got a very strong 1-minute power and 15-second power, which has probably helped him with racing B. And that's him. Just going to head into the C race now.
Small group, I've just said 6 riders out front right now. They got, I'm pretty sure, 3K until the finish. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
That sounds about right. These riders, let's see. Okay, that's looking like was that 2 riders on the front?
6.
Oh wait, no, there's I'm like way behind. Sorry. My bad.
Johansson with a little bit of a surge, 7 watt per kilo right now.
S. Beer with his erratic power. Okay, watch this. There.
Ooh, the anvil.
What the heck is going on here? Oh, Johansson and
What?
I'm not sure what's going on here, but looks like he's sprinting with an anvil.
He stops.
He's probably just trying to burn this power up before he gets to the finish. It looks like these 3 are now in a small breakaway. Henriksen from DBR, he's might be able to get back on terms with these 3 riders on the front, but I think the number 1 rider in these top 3 riders is going to be, just pulling it up. Henriksen is extremely strong. Looks like he's got a Zwift power rank of 244, and looks like he's the highest ranked in this small group.
So it was a really, really interesting play by Johansson, but he did manage to stay with the group even after using the anvil. But what people can do now is there actually is a button on companion to get rid of any power up you don't want. So if you don't want it, you could just scrap it, which is a pretty cool feature I think they added in.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I normally do if it's just not a useful power up and I want a better power up. But other times I just do it to stop me from impulsively just clicking the spacebar, because that's just what I naturally do now in finishing sprints, because I know that, oh, I need to turn my power up on, but if it just happens to be an anvil, I'm dead.
Surprised no one has gone yet, but we haven't really reached the steeper part yet. Still on a 2% gradient, but it would be interesting to see if anyone really tries to send it once it gets steeper.
Okay, it looks like these three. Oh, Henriksen with the attack now. He's doing 6 watts per kilo, 7 watts per kilo now. He's got 1 second gap on the rest of the riders. And nobody seems to be making the move to catch this rider. Saitermo, the rider that we were talking about earlier, he's on the front right now, 6.7 watts per kilo. I think Saitermo from Vikings, not unless Henriksen slows down dramatically, is not going to be able to catch back up.
Still holding 6, heart rate 190. Got about 500 meters to go. I think it's like 19 point something K.
Yeah, I believe so. 191 heart rate. He is giving it all he has right now. You can see his watts slowly declining, but he's going to have enough to finish this race strong and take home the win.
The Termos, 6 second gap, but Henriksen still holding above 4 watts per kilo. 5 watts per kilo now. He is going to win this.
Congratulations to Henriksen from DBR, and very strong ride by him, and he is going to take home this win with S. Thomas. Oh, sorry. What is going on with this?
He got lapped.
Yeah, he got lapped. It glitched on my end. Saitermo is going to take second. S. Beer with erratic power, third. Rigby is going to come in fourth. Rachel is going to come in fifth. Johansson is dropped right now. He's going to take home sixth. Very strong ride by him, though. He was definitely the one to make the moves and make the attacks.
Now we shall go into the D race.
Disquio wasn't quite the best choice for this course.
The D riders have 4K to go.
Just pulling that up right now.
Fastest bike I think in this peloton is the Canyon Air Road. With the DT, is this DT Swiss? Yeah, it's a DT Swiss Arcs. Which is that's pretty sure that's the best setup for a low level. So far, 2 anvil power-ups have been used. Not the smartest decision, but if they can manage to stay with the group, it's fine, because we're on a little bit of a downhill, but it's not really steep enough to get any use out of it. But it seems that those 2 riders are still able to stay with the group. Got around 6 riders in this group. So it's a pretty decent front group for a D race, even though there's only 17 riders. No one's really doing anything, everyone's just sitting in. Trying to save that energy, because there may be an attack coming up on the climb right before the finish. they're coming up to this little hill. They might have to put a little bit of power in. One rider off the front. Nothing crazy happening. Everyone still seems to be in the same group.
Ryan is going to be taking over right now because currently I am making a I'm piping up the top 5 riders from each category so I can present that to you all in a bit once the D riders finish. So I'm just getting that typed up while we watch the D riders.
The OG rider is still in here with the Zwift jersey. Pretty cool. Mostly stretched out now in a line. Maybe D-Dun was trying to get a little bit of a gap right now, as one rider is trailing off the back just a little bit, but he can. I'm pretty sure he can just stay at the same pace.
Oops, sorry about the text on right now. Okay, just got rid of that.
He's a little bit of a gap, nothing too much, like probably like a 4-meter gap, but since he's in the back, he's able to take the draft and the momentum, 15%, and he's able to just shoot past them.
Okay, looks like they're oh my gosh, the lap riders again. Pierini is currently on the front right now, 3.5 watts per kilo. He's running the Cervelo S5 with the 8.9 NVs. He's got the classic Zwift kit, not the OG one, but still the classic one, I guess. And it looks like OG Zwifter is coming up right behind him. Oh, we saw a Ghost power up just finished right here from Fernando Carollo. He was probably looking to get a gap, but he didn't quite get that gap he was looking for. He's going to be power up list for the final bit, and we're going to see Kirkham on the front right now. Now they're easing off right now, waiting until this final bend for them to really go all out. D Dune is on the front. He's got a Rafa Rising kit, running the Chapter 2 TOA and MV 3.4. Extremely good climbing setup, so expect to maybe see an attack from him. It looks like he's probably been preparing for this attack based off of his bike setup. Not quite sure who is going to go first, though. Bernardi is on the front right now. He's putting in solid effort, around 4 watts per kilo, 180 beats per minute from him, and looks like he is getting a small gap right now, 1 to 2 seconds depending on which part of the group, and he might be able to take this win. So to everyone on the stream right now, we're currently working on getting the results typed up, and we'll have that ready for you all in around 5 minutes. So that is when we will go through all the different categories, give shout outs to all the different riders. If we remember them from any breakaways, we'll review that breakaway and we'll talk about that and just kind of just give everyone in the top 5 some more recognition. Bernardi is currently doing 3.7, 3.5. He's still at 180 beats per minute, and Pierini, he looks like he's going to bridge the gap between them. Dune, not quite on the wheel, but he's using the drafting power-up, so if he can really put in effort right now, he can take this win. Bernardi is realizing that he is getting caught, and he's still got a 1 second gap, but these 3 riders are in contention for the win. Dune right now putting in the surge. He's putting in the effort right now. He's going to walk away with this win. Using the draft power up, 5 watts per kilo. He takes that, 189 beats per minute. Bernardi's going to come in second. Pierini third. G Price is going to I'm not sure it's Gary, but G Price with the Canyon Arrow coming in fourth, still putting in a solid effort. 188 beats per minute. Kirkham with the OG kit coming in fifth. Then Fernando Carollo, his plan didn't quite go as planned. His plan was likely to use the Ghost power up and then try to get a good enough gap so that he could try to hold that to the finish, but I don't think that worked out as he initially planned it to, and he ended up just on the front of the group when his power up ran out. Looking at other streams that I've seen so far throughout the few days, I have seen that something that riders do is the ghost attack, which is what I wanted to do. So my plan isn't quite as sneaky as I imagined, but I know other riders are definitely trying it too. Okay, that rounds it up for the top 6 riders. Del Rue is coming in. He's got a little bit left to go, and he's going to come in 7th if Brorson from SZR does not catch. Okay, we're about ready to present the results. We'll give us around 1 minute, and then we'll have those ready for all you to view. Looks like Brorson is going to take, he is probably going to take 7th and pass Del Rue. Del Rue is starting to fade, doing 1.3 watts per kilo. And after, and right now I'm going to start showing the results. Just get that out real quick. And now I will show you all the results. So for category A, we've got James Young coming in first, a rider that we've seen in the previous weeks. He's done extremely well, and I wasn't very surprised by this as he does have an extremely strong 1-minute power. Coming in second, Ben Ruth from NZbro, I believe. Yeah, he's going to be from NZbro, a team that's been rising through the divisions week by week, and he finished with 6 seconds away from James Young. Simon Rigby from Skylab. Skylab is a pretty old team. They were one of the older esport teams that existed, and he finished with 3 seconds away from Ben Ruth, so 9 seconds from the winner. Ariel Sivori, a rider from World Elite Zwifters, a team that is also one of the original esports teams. Very strong team, and they are also in Premier Division. I believe all of these are in Premier Division, these top teams. Piotr Truskazinski, I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so sorry if there's some incorrect pronunciation. He's coming from ztpl.cc. Their e-racing team, so that's their esports team. 12 seconds behind the winner, and he's going to be only 1 second behind Sivori from World Elite Zwifters. Time for the category B results. Let's see. Let me just replace the text real quick. Okay, first place is going to be Sam Atkinson. He is a very high ranked B rider and extremely strong sprinter. So second is going to be Paul Harris, and he is coming from Dirt with his Zwift power rank of 125. He's an almost A rider, so in the coming few weeks we might see him get upgraded to A. Third is going to be Jason Funderburk from Team RWB. Quite a few dirt riders in the top 5, actually. I'm just realizing that. 3 riders in the top 6. But back to Jason. He finished with 1.5 seconds from Sam Atkinson, and he was only 2/10 of a second away from Paul Harris. Very close finish between the two of them. Uh, Tiago Pereira from Eat Dirt. He was 3 seconds away from the winner, 2 seconds away from Jason. So not as close a finish there. But right here we see an extremely close finish. Niels H from Wad Fabric. He finished 1/100th of a second away from Barrera. I think we have that recorded, so you guys can view that by going back on the timeline in the stream. Okay, Ryan is going to be doing the category C results right now.
Yeah. For Cat C, Jess Henriksen, as you all saw, took the win. And then 8 seconds behind him, in second place, Steve Sadermo from the Vikings, Henriksen from DBR. In third, who was 52 seconds behind, Simon Beer from Rhino. In fourth, Mark Rigby from the Cleveland Wheelers, who finished 32 seconds behind, I believe. 22 seconds behind, my bad. And then Rudiger from Watford Brick, finishing in fifth, 26 seconds behind.
Okay,
And
then
that's
I don't have the category D races.
Oh, there you go. Cat D just came across. It's only the top 4 though for Cat D.
Okay, we won't be displaying those on the screen, but we'll just read them out loud right now. So Douglas Dune is going to come in first, with a 1.2 second gap on Lorenzo Bernardi. And then Lorenzo Bernardi came in, as I just said, 1.2 seconds away. And Matteo Pierini was 2.9 seconds away from the winner, so he was just over a second away from Matteo. And these riders all got extremely good Zwift power gains, and with a gain of 21, 16, and 12. Gary Price from Coalition came in fourth with a 12-second gap. That's pretty much it for this stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you all next week. If you all are looking to join a group ride that I lead, I'm going to be leading the Wolfpack Social presented by Speedhound at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, PDT. So you can find that on the calendar. I also have a link in the description right now. I'm going to send that real quick. But is going to be happening on this channel other than my Roads Category A series that I will be releasing on Sunday. You can see the previous episodes on the playlist that I have on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Ride on.
See you all.